WJTS News. Good evening, I'm Charlotte Olson. Southern Indiana had the honor to spearhead the torch relay in Cordon of Harrison County last Friday, September the 9th. We began reporting the journey of the Indiana Bicentennial Torch Relay, where we spoke with Mark Newman, who is the Executive Director of Indiana Office of Tourism. We also spoke to Lieutenant Governor Eric Holcomb, who shared with us that one of the departments that he oversees is of tourism, which has been an instrumental role in the launch of the torch relay. The torch then made its way to Spencer County on September the 10th, where it ended at Rockport as an Abraham Lincoln persona handed the torch to Rockport Mayor Gay Ann Harney. Mayor Harney elaborates on being nominated by Nancy Kaiser, a volunteer at the Friends of Lincoln Museum, and the significance of representing Spencer County for the torch relay.
Oh, I thought it was such an honor, and I appreciate Nancy for nominating me for this. It's part of the Friends of Lincoln Pioneer Village and Museum. It's a local museum that we have here, and Nancy and I have worked a long time on this. I think it's important to remember your history. If you know where you came from, you'll know where maybe you need to go and what steps to take to the future. So it's always important to remember what our forefathers did for us, and that way we'll know what to do in the future.
People from various parts of Spencer County dressed in Civil War attire who were reenactors and demonstrators to speak on the influence of Abraham Lincoln for their community. Today, the torch continued with its Southern Indiana journey into our very own Du Bois County, and it started in Ferdinand. The route began at the intersection of 5th Street and Main Street, continuing north to the intersection of 16th Street and Main Street, where Sue Elsperman ran up a hill to greet the Forest Park Junior-Senior High marching band. She then ran the torch to Mark Stezik, who passed it off to a wagon full of veterans. That wagon included Otto Bagley, Leroy Hogg, Reynold Knust, Cletus Liebehusen, Frank Meyer, Sylvester Nord, Joseph Pund, Richard Swope, James Sadeo, Roman Temple, Edgar Vall, and Harold Van Winkle. Elsperman then traveled to Huntingburg, passing the torch to Connie Noss, riding in a carriage as it rode through 4th Street, and the torch was passed then to various Huntingburg representatives. And then Bryce King passed the torch to Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spinner. Mayor Spinner ran to the intersection of Geiger Street and Highway 164, where he got into a classic ERA Cadillac to venture towards Jasper. The torch started at the Jasper City Mill and met a large crowd of people at the Courthouse Square, where Mayor Terry Seitz gave a speech and various Jasper representatives held the torch. Craig Honman passed the torch off to Leonard Hinkey at the intersection of State Road 164 and New Orleans Street in Celestine, and then headed on into Orange County. Last night, the Ferdinand Town Council listened to reports from department heads in their monthly report, as well as members of the community. Among the department reports, Ferdinand Volunteer Fire Department Chief Dan Lindauer addressed the council regarding a letter turning down a grant proposal from the Assistance to Firefighters Grant Program that was submitted by the department for the fiscal year in 2015. According to the letter, the department did not score within the competitive range reviewed. The letter states that for the fiscal year of 2015, FEMA received over 10,000 applications requesting more than $2.1 billion in federal assistance. The letter encourages the Ferdinand Department to apply for fiscal year 2016 assistance to firefighters grant funding, which Lindauer informed the department will use the feedback that they ended up receiving from the Department of Homeland Security as it regards to the information in their application. Also last night, the Ferdinand Council revised a tax amendment proposal from local builder and developer Randy Bagley and paused the regular council meeting to open discussion in a public hearing. During the hearing, the council approved the resolution for economic revitalization as it relates to the tax amendment. Bagley of Bagley Properties LLC is in the process of developing 2 additional lots to build duplexes along 5th Street and also wants to start an initial 12-unit complex and a 2-story apartment building out of the north side of the industrial bypass. Bagley thanked the council for their observations and approval. Mural artist Lisa Thalhammer from Washington, D.C. provided the council a presentation and asked them to consider sponsoring a grant application for a mural that would be placed on a building along the 1400 block of Main Street in Ferdinand. Thalhammer was accompanied by local businesses man Keith Fritz of Fine Furniture and also Forest Park English teacher Rock Emmert. Emmert talks about the idea of the mural illustrating the Ferdinand Bull on the building's side.
Monroe Leaf wrote a book called The Story of Ferdinand about this bull that believed in his own path and not following the lead of other bulls, and he wanted to sit under a tree and smell flowers. So the Legion picked up on that bull idea years ago. They have the bull in the Legion, this big resin bull, and on the town trucks we have the bull with the flower in the mouth, straight from that children's story. And on the sign outside the Legion, there's the bull. So a local businessman, Keith Fritz, has this huge wall on the north side of his building across from Homestead Pizza. And he has a cousin who's a renowned artist and mural artist from Washington, D.C. She's actually done a mural in Vienna, Austria, and several around D.C. and other places. So she came all the way over here to Ferdinand tonight to present her proposal, and it's been in the works for just a few weeks. It kind of happened fast.
Before any discussions were made, the council held dialogue about the logistics of the town taking part in sponsoring the mural, suggesting that a nonprofit group sponsor it instead. The council decided to have a written agreement in place for room of feasibility and for the council to be removed from sponsorship at any point where the town does not see itself in parallel with the mural's interpretation. A Spencer County woman was placed under arrest for her involvement in a rash of vehicle break-ins. They took place in the parts of DuBois County in the last several weeks. Jasper police took 39-year-old Angela Dunn of Dale in custody during the 4 o'clock hour on Tuesday afternoon in Dale. Back on Thursday, August the 25th, Jasper police looked into the report of a vehicle that had been broken into and items had been stolen from the vehicle in the parking lot of the Medical Arts Building located along the 700 block of 13th Street in Jasper. Authorities sent out a media release on 2 possible suspects that they believed were involved in the vehicle break-in. Jasper police later learned that the Ferdinand Police Department was also investigating a similar type of vehicle break-in, and that occurred in the St. Ferdinand Church parking lot a day after the Jasper break-ins. The acting of several tips on the identities of the 2 suspects led Jasper police to Stone's Motel in Dale yesterday. A Jasper police officer along with a Spencer County deputy went to that location and made contact with a female subject identified as Dunn. Jasper police took Dunn to the Ferdinand Police Department for questioning, and then officers from both departments interviewed Dunn about the 2 vehicle break-ins, at which time she confessed to being involved in the break-ins at both the St. Ferdinand Church parking lot and also the Medical Arts Building lot in Jasper. Both Ferdinand Police and Jasper Police charged Dunn with a level 6 felony count of theft and a misdemeanor count of assisting a criminal. Dunn was taken to and booked into the DuBois County Security Center in Jasper. An investigation into the vehicle break-ins in both Jasper and Ferdinand are continuing, and authorities expect more arrests. Charges were filed against a Jasper woman, police say, and took several items from a locker at the Jasper swimming pool earlier last month. Back on August the 3rd, police were called to the municipal swimming pool where 2 Apple iPhones, 2 wallets, a debit card, and a small amount of cash were taken from a locker at the pool, which is located along the 1400 block of Bartley Street. As a result of the investigation, police charged 29-year-old Angela Allen of Jasper with a level 6 felony count of theft. Allen was already lodged at the DuBois County Security Center on unrelated charges. The Jasper Chamber of Commerce says its 63rd annual meeting will be held as a luncheon this year, and the gathering is set for Thursday, September the 29th at Clubhouse 61 in Jasper. The luncheon will begin at 11:30, followed by the meeting itself and presentations and, of course, the keynote speaker. The Jasper Chamber of Commerce is comprised of board members and 2 staff positions. They include Executive Director Nancy Eckerly and Office Manager Tina Vall. At this time, the outgoing Chamber President Craig Handman will recognize board members and other officers who served during the 2016 term. Craig will also make the presentation of the annual President's Community Excellence Award, and the 2017 board president officers and new board members will be introduced and recognized. Now, this award is given annually to any individual in the community who has given of him or herself in a variety of ways in order to make a difference. The award is always a surprise to the recipient, and it is such a great honor to recognize the work of an individual who has contributed to the success of our community. The Jasper Chamber is pleased to have representatives of the Jasper Public Library and the Jasper Arts Center give a presentation on the proposed Jasper Cultural Center as a keynote speaker for the Chamber's annual meeting. Attendees will have the opportunity to hear about the project, and the topic is titled The Jasper Cultural Center, Get the Facts. This is a chance to hear about the project and to also learn of the details that are associated with costs. Tickets for the annual Chamber meeting are priced at $30 each, or for a table of 8 is $220. Reservations may be made by calling the Chamber at 812-482-6866 or by emailing the Chamber at chamber@jasperin.org. Deadlines for reservations are Friday, September the 23rd. Keep it right here, because up next we'll take a look at your weather summary.